I think we are all good. So would you consider yourself like the professional, quote unquote, if we can say so?
I think you're a professional if you earn money with it. I don't earn my money with it, so no. For me, fun factor is really important.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't get fun out of stuff, I won't do it. So yeah, when are you a professional? I don't know. I also do milsim. I also do practical shooting with a rifle, with a pistol.
I think the official, the official is probably making money with it. That's when you become like probably officially, like that's how you would say professional. But you know, airsoft, professional, earning money with just airsoft, that's kind of tough. So maybe we can just lower the bar from, you know, earning your living with it to more like, is it the highest level of competing in airsoft IPSC?
There are different levels of IPC. We got in the Netherlands, like, or Dutch competition. Then you got like European competition, and then you got like the World Cup, the World Shoot. But the World Shoot is a story different because you need like an IPSC license. The IPSC license you also need for real steel. And in the Netherlands, we cannot get it as an airsofter. You need to get it by real steel. In different countries, it's possible to get the IPSC license with airsoft, so you don't need to do all of the courses to get your firearm. So I don't have an IPSC license, so for me the European title is the highest I can get at this moment in IPSC airsoft. So for me that's okay. One day, I promise you, one day I will go to the World Shoots.
So, but just to make it clear, you need a real steel firearm license to do that.
Nah, it's called the IPSC license, and in you got like the IPSC organization for real steel, and you got the IPSC organization for airsoft. And in the Netherlands, we don't have the Airsoft IPSC association, so they say, but you're not a real steel shooter, so you cannot get the IPSC license then.
So you need to be a real steel shooter to compete in the highest one.
In the Netherlands, yes. In other countries, no problem.
So you are basically at the peak of the airsoft IPSC, let's say.
For Europe, maybe.
All right. I think that's good. That's good. All right. Let's start with the questions that we prepared for you. This one was just like an introduction. Who are we talking to for the viewers? But let's go with the first one. How would you describe airsoft IPSC and what is it about? Just a really briefly, like what comes to your mind?
Well, it's competition. Of course, in the field when we fight with each other, it's also a little competition, but this is all about time, speed, and precision. And combining those factors, that makes IPSC airsoft. So be fast, shoot the targets, don't miss the targets. And if you do that the fastest and the best, yeah, you can be the best.
And do it the way you planned it in your head just before the timer started, right? That's a big part of it.
It's really important. You always get a walkthrough before you can do the competition, like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. And sometimes I did my walkthrough, I made a plan in my head, like, okay, I will start on the left. And then everybody starts on the right. And I'm like, oh, why are they starting there? And then there's a basic rule, and that means stick to the plan. Don't change the plan. Only if you're 100% sure you won't fuck up after it. Sorry, I'm not sure it's okay to curse. Otherwise,
Perfectly fine.
But yeah, stick to the plan. That's a real important rule in competition shooting.
How did you get into this competitive sphere of airsoft? Because most people, they just go out to the field, they have fun with friends, and then that's kind of where it ends. But you took it a step further. So how did that happen?
It's a funny story, to be honest. I started with competition instead of the skirmish part.
You started with competing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it was like 11 or 12 years ago. It was not legal in the Netherlands yet to play airsoft. So we all went to Belgium. And a friend of mine went to Belgium, and I was like, whoa, that's so awesome. Airsoft. Whoa, how cool is that? You were like a soldier and you're shooting and you don't kill people. Whoa. And then, like 2 years later, it got legal in the Netherlands, and I was like, okay, let's follow this page. And then they had like introduction course for IPSC airsoft, and I was like, okay, I have no clue, but it's airsoft. Let's go. And yeah, there it happened. I just fell in love with it. I'm a competitive person, of course, otherwise you might not like this. But yeah, there it was like holding the pistol, and I was like, okay, I can shoot this target. Okay, it's fun. Okay, I can run. It's a little sporty. Yeah. So it was an introduction of the Dutch Airsoft organization, and I was like, okay, let's go. I took a friend, and we both liked it. We both still do it.
Okay. So you basically just saw like an advert somewhere and you're like, hey, sounds cool, let's go.
Yeah, just like that.
Pretty-
It's nice that they do this, that they try to like spread it to people who don't really know airsoft, and they basically grow the sport because you also transitioned into other things, not just airsoft IPSC. So the competition part. You said you also go to mil sims and regular games, I would say as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, and let's be honest, like, what should it be? 95, maybe 97% is skirmish, mil sim, pole sim, and only 3%, till 5 should be the competitive part. So there are not many people. So people, join. Make a hard time for me, please.
Yeah, if you are watching right now, then definitely look it up, because I did a couple of matches myself, and I gotta say it's really fun, and it's very different to regular airsoft, and it allows you to, you know, train your skills and actually see the progression in form of a time, because that's what we are missing in regular airsoft, right? You don't really have like a clear way of progressing and getting better. You know, maybe one day you have like a better day and you get more, how should I say, in a YouTube friendly way, you get more hits, and then the other time you get hit more often than not. So
Yep.
in IPSC, I like the timing aspect, and you can just work towards a goal and just keep doing that.
Yeah, you also have it, like the electronic target system. It's just fun to make like a little course. It can be as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a stop plate, and just shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stop, and keep doing that. And maybe the first time you got 10 seconds, and the second time 9, and then you train and you train, and you can do it in under 5 seconds. I just mentioned something, but. And that's the cool part. And then your friends join and they're like, well, you're doing it in 5 seconds. And then they start with 10 seconds. And then you got a 4.9. And yeah, the competitive part with friends, that's what I like also.
And then more people join, and all of a sudden you have a national cup.
All right, deal. Let's go. Organized by Norwich. Let's go.
Oh, well, maybe one day, who knows where we go next. All right, the next thing that we have is, how does IPSC compare to regular airsoft? We kind of touched on that, but maybe very briefly from your point of view. What's the biggest difference, obviously?
I think you don't shoot a lot of BBs. Of course, the competitive parts compared to, I don't know, capture the flag or something like that. In a small match, we shoot 6 stages. That means we got short stages, medium stages, and long stages. That means 12 BBs, 24 BBs, or 32 BBs. So
little.
Yeah, that is, and then just 6 of those kind of stages, mainly for 3 small, 2 medium, 1 long, I think. So around 120 BBs. That's all I shoot, but that's yeah, like a good mid cap. That's it. So I think you don't shoot a lot it's a lot of waiting because you're in a squad, for example, with 10 people. When it's my turn, I'm shooting, and then the others will patch the holes on the cardboard card, and then the next shooter is, and then we put the stickers on, and that repeats. So when everybody's done with that stage, we move on to the next stage. So it's a lot of waiting. The shooting can be like 4 or 5 seconds or like 20 seconds. So in a day, what should it be? Highly maybe 2 minutes that I shoot. So yeah, you need to have a lot of patience. You need to keep your focus. And when it's your time, the focus must be on. So that can be a hard thing.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, totally. I'm thinking how I transition to the next question, because the next question is actually about costs. And I wanted to say something like, there is a lot of waiting, and then there is this 1 minute that really counts. And you also said that there is just a couple of BBs that you shoot. I don't know, say 120 in a full match. That means that every single one of those BBs counts. But it's airsoft, right? So it's a replicas that shoot plastic BBs. It's not a real firearm that is comparably really like exact, right? So how does that translate into the costs and involvement? Meaning your gear, how much does it cost? How much is the match? And how often do you train? Because again, for the 1 minute, everything needs to be absolutely perfect, right?
Yeah, that's more questions than one.
Yes, well, sorry about that, but I'm not gonna make it easy for you.
No, it's okay. I'll start with the cost and then the training. About the cost, I think it's the same for playing in the field. You can go to the dump store and you can buy like simple clothing. And if you like, you can buy Norwich clothing. It's a little bit more expensive. And if you like, you go to the police store and buy the most expensive gear you ever wanted. Does it make you a better shooter? I don't know.
Probably not.
Exactly. And that's the same for me with the IPSC Airsoft. Take something you can buy. Don't overdo with upgrades and stuff. Give me a standard gun out of the box and it probably shoots better than when you fully upgrade it. The problem is when people fully upgrade their gun, they put 10 upgrades at the same time in their gun. And then they come to me at the training and they say, "Hey, Dionne, my gun is not working." And I'm like, "Well, what did you do?" "Yeah, I put 10 upgrades in it." I said, "Oh, wow, 10 upgrades. That's nice." So my advice would be start easy. If you like to upgrade, do it one by one. Make sure it works. Put another one in. Make sure it works. So if something's not working, you can see it. And that's the same. You can make it as expensive as you want. You can buy a simple replica and it will work. It's okay. I've got some stuff here. Of course you need like the bells. A belt with the holster. Of course you need magazines. I got like this plastic caps on it because if it falls on the magazine lip, and it breaks, you don't like it because you have to replace it. And if it falls on this rubber cup, it's not much of a problem. Also, there's numbers on it, I guess. So when there is a problem, I can see that that's my problem. But yeah, what do you need? Like a pistol, a belt, and magazines.
How much is such a belt?
You can buy them on AliExpress.
So it can be very cheap, but also quite expensive, I guess.
That's the honest answer. Of course, I'm not sure Ali will work for a longer period, but if you like to try something, it would do. But I've got some brands I like, and what would it be like? I think €200 you got a complete belt.
With the magazines or without?
No, magazines are
there we go. Because you just show the whole thing and then people will be like, "Oh, it's 200," but
no. No, I'm not sure I can talk about branding, but I used like the Tokyo Marine magazines, and at the moment they are like 50 euros each. So
there we go. That's 200 just for the mags, the 4 mags that you have.
and now I have 4 in my belt, and I always have 4 spare or even more. So
Okay, there we go. That's 400 mags.
But don't forget, I do this for 10 years. So
Yeah.
and I think one of these magazines might be the magazine I bought 10 years ago. So it's durable. It's good. But it's all about maintaining it. And if I don't use this belt or my pistol in the field because I don't want sand parts in it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, price wise, this is a 200 euro belt without the magazines, but it also depends on what pistol you use, so also on the magazines you use. But I think for like 200 to 300 euros, also with AliExpress or a cheaper gun, you can have what you need to train.
Mm.
And if you don't have a belt, no worries. For competition, it might be a problem because it's mandatory to have a belt. But for training, yeah, just put them in your pockets. Why not? Or use like the belt you use in the field. It's no problem.
As long as it can hold a magazine, it doesn't need to be something super expensive and specific, right?
Yeah, maybe it's even allowed to put your magazine into your pouch. I'm thinking about that now. IPSC comes with a lot of rules. The rule book is a thick book, so I know a lot of rules, but not all. I know
you have your belt, so it's like you don't care at this point.
And even in the belt, I can tell 20 rules about only the belt. So
really, that many just about the belt?
Yeah, it's the position of the height of the belt, the position of your holster, the position of the magazines, or maybe put it like this, or straight, where it is on my hip. So yeah, there are a lot of rules, and there are different categories, so that also depends on the category you're shooting in, what the rule is about your belt. So
same like the real steel IPSC, I would say the production and open and standard and probably more.
I think it's like exactly the same, only it shoots BBs and no real bullets. The targets are a little bit smaller when you got the 70% targets. Yeah, I'm thinking what's different. But the rule book is almost the same because it's all about safety. So safety angles, safety, staying uprange, don't point a gun at someone. Yeah.
All right. What about your main replica? How much is that? I wanted to. That's what I was waiting for because I'm really curious if you are the type of person who should. We should maybe start with which category are you shooting? Production or open with completely tacked out thing?
The category I shoot is standard competition. So I use this Tokyo Marine 5.1. As you can see, my favorite colors are black with a little bit of red. And what makes this a standard gun? It means that I got my rear sights and I got a front sight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I can do upgrades, I can change some parts, I can change the trigger. I got a mag well, so my magazines go in easier. But I cannot make the replica longer. That's not allowed because then we go to open class. If you go to open glass, then you can use a red dot, you can use more BBs, you can use extended magazines, you can put your belt differently.
Just all bunch of crazy things. You can. Those open guns are the most expensive ones, right?
You can put more things on it. So yeah, I think a lot of people that are good are going to the open class. And they are even better. I tried it 2 years, but I got like a cheap ass red dot, and I was really hard to finding the red dot. And I trained it, and I won the competition, but I didn't get the fun out of it. So And yes, the red dot in the open class, that makes a lot of difference. Like I said, I got like the AliExpress version, so yeah, probably that's the thing. But you also got like red dots for real steel for 500 euros. And yeah, if I use that, I see it immediately. So,
So let's answer the ultimate question. How much does a replica cost in Airsoft IPSC? I know it's gonna be a range, but maybe we can do the cheaper variant and then, obviously the open one, just to give people some idea.
I think, of course, if it comes out of the box and you can shoot it, you got a replica. It works. You can shoot competition with it. So what would we say? 200 euros, maybe less, maybe a little more. Fully upgraded, yeah, I have seen guns for 3,000 or 4,000 euros. Do they shoot better? Do they shoot better? That's the question.
That is the big question, and I think we don't want to answer that because we will piss a lot of people.
Well, to be honest, I got simple upgrades. Maybe it's black, so you cannot really see it, but this is the extended mag release, and this is like a really simple upgrade. What makes shooting easier. The same with the fiberglass sights. You can fight them easier, and these are simple upgrades, or the magwell that I would recommend. Of course, in the inside there's also a lot of changes, but
Of course.
it's not like the 4,000 euro replica. This one is not. And for me, it just needs to shoot. If my gun doesn't shoot, I'm not happy. Then you will see an angry Dionne.
We don't want that.
No. People say, "Are you okay?" No.
Do you get like angry and do you throw things around when something doesn't go the way you want it?
I don't think people would really see it. The smile will get down because I smile a lot. I know that. But it's in my head, and it's really important. It's important for me because you got like 6 stages on a small competition. So if I fuck up one stage, it doesn't mean that I fuck up 5 other stages. So it's important to get back in your head, relax, focus, fix the gun. You can ask for it if there's a problem. I just say to the range officer. The range officer is like the official who walks with the match. And I say, "Hey, can I fix my gun?" And they say, "Of course, no problem." So a special area where I can fix the gun. And of course, if I fix the gun, last Sunday I shot a match and the hop up, but the rubber probably is too old, so it was fucked up. It was fucked up. So I can go to another song, fix my gun. And last Sunday, the hop up problem, probably the rubber was a little dry or something. And yeah, I just fixed it and then it went better. But to be honest, it already was in my head, so the match was not my perfect match. And that's okay. Learning by doing, that's my motto. So just, yeah, do it. Learn from it. It was not a 0 stage. A 0 stage means you got no points because you could not shoot anything. So I got points. So that's good.
All right. Good. Next thing is, how often and what exactly do you practice? How do you prepare for a match? What do you do to get better?
At the beginning, I trained a lot. I was like in my student home, so it was just a small room, so I could only do dry fire. And I dry fired a lot. When I woke up, when I went to sleep, every time. I went to the center like 2 or 3 days a week. And for me, it's all about precision. I think it all starts with precision. So if you cannot aim a gun, you're going to have a hard time. Because the targets are smaller. If I shoot a person, yeah, it's moving, but it's mainly bigger, so easier. I can put more BBs on it. But in Airsoft, in IPSC, you want to hit each paper target 2 times. And you got an Alpha, a Charlie, and a Delta.
Oh, we got balloons.
What's that for my alpha?
It's the reactions when you do something. I think it's
Well,
it's the reactions.
all right, we do this again. So in IPSC Airsoft, you got like paper targets. They got Alpha, Charlie, and a Delta. And it refers to 5, 3, or 1 point, and you need to hit it twice. So you can get a maximum on the paper carbon target 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
So precision is good because I'm running and I want to hit the target in the alpha, of course, because I want to get the 10 points. And for example, if it's a short stage and I shoot the 12 BBs, I want to have the 120 points. But time is also very important because the points you shoot will be discounted by the time. So if I shoot twice as fast, the score might be higher, even if I shoot as Charlie or Delta.
Mm-hmm. So it's balancing precision and time, and that takes a lot of training, doesn't it?
And that's why the training for precision is so important, that if the speed goes up, the precision still be there. So what do I train? I train footwork, I train precision, I train reflexes. For example, take a glass of water. What if it drops from the table? We all got that reflex from catching the glass, and that's the reflex I want to have to grab my gun, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all these small things you can practice. Just grabbing your gun and aiming. Next step, all right, move a step, take another target, turn around, do a magazine change, small drills, and in every millisecond you can grab your win. It might be the win from the match. So yeah.
Sounds like a lot of hard work if you really want to get up there.
Yeah, but it's in the head. If you want to get up there, you can get there. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I was training a guy and he was a little sad. Like he was always 5th place behind me. And he was like, oh no, that's no good. I want to get higher. And I said, it's in your head. I know you can do it. I'm sure you can do it. I can see it in the trainings. In the trainings, you are doing so relaxed, so chill. And last Sunday, he was 1st place. So I was a very proud coach.
So you trained somebody who got 1st place?
Yes.
Okay. That must be an achievement for you as well.
To be honest, yes. I loved it. I was so happy for him. This was exciting.
Perfect. How do you prepare for a competition, for a big one? Let's take the big one, like the most important one. How do you prepare for it?
Yeah. Of course, training, but we talked about training. But then, like 2 or 3 days before, I tried to get zen, relaxed in my head. It's hard, but I try to get some sleep before, because I think when your sleep is good, you will feel the difference the day after. And yes, I had some nights I was way too nervous at the beginning, and I slept for 2 hours. And still went through the competition, but it feels different than when I get my, what should we say, 8 hours of sleep. So that's important for me. Most bigger competitions, they have a digital document with the stages on it. It's not always good to see how the stages look like, but I can make like a route in my head. Like, okay, I want to start here, I want to go there. So I print those documents, I draw lines, I think about shooting positions, because you don't want to stand still on every place of the target. Maybe there's a spot where you can shoot 3 targets, so I get less shooting positions. So I use those drawings.
Really like a homework, huh?
Yeah, but it helps, because if I would surprise myself on a competition day and see it for the first time and I'm like, whoa, what is this? What do they want? Especially the long stages, so that means 32 rounds. Yeah, we once had like, it was called Monopoly. So it's like a square, and you start in the middle and you had to go all the way around. And there are a lot of safety angles. I cannot point my gun like this, then that, and then that, and then that. I always have to keep it in the safe direction. So it's a lot of thinking about when you have like a Monopoly square.
Just simply where your hand is pointing all the time.
Exactly. If there's an audience behind me, the main rule I always say, keep in your head, it's a firearm. You don't want to point a firearm at the audience. So turn it the other way around, shooting direction. So preparing simple things like that. Okay, that's a complicated stage. I need to remember my safety angles. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I see some friends just to chill, or some for my team. We talk about the stages. And of course, on the day itself, I take good breakfast. I just go. I have special music playlists that I listen to hype up a little. That works well for me, but I think that's for everybody this different. Maybe people have like their favorite socks, they want their socks on. I don't know.
Hey,
All right. I think that gives us a good idea of what's involved. If you take like a piece of paper and you plan your route for every stage, that gives us the gist of it.
But it's not mandatory. Don't forget, it's not mandatory. I like doing it.
Of course, but if you want to be, on the top, you better put some work in it, right?
True. But important to know, if you're going to do this, the paper might be different than the real stage they built. So sometimes I'm there and I'm like, hey, this is not like the drawing. And then, yeah, it's similar, but they change things to make it harder or easier or...
But at least everybody has the same problem.
True story.
What makes a good IPSC shooter?
Someone who prepares, so who trains. Someone who keeps fun in it. So in a competition day, it's a long day. Yeah, I'm thinking. Can I turn this off?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Let's just keep rolling with it.
I'll keep my hands low, okay?
it's okay.
All right. What makes a good APSC shooter? I think someone that prepares, so that trains, of course. Someone that keeps the fun in it, because it can be a long day or longer days, because if it's a big competition, it's 2 or more days. So you need to have fun, and that helps yourself, but also the others. And of course, focus, because it's focusing your plan, it's focus during the shooting. Yeah, I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What were the biggest challenges in your career, and how did you deal with them?
My personal career? Yeah, well, I always wanted to beat the guys. That was my personal goal. And I don't know why, but you guys are just good. Oh, damn it. That's not fair. I've been there.
You won some matches.
Yeah, of course. I did some, but it's not like a straight winning line. I've got like one example in the real steals, Lena Michalek, and she's like winning of all the guys. And I want to be the Airsoft Lena Michalek. That would be awesome. But
Don't.
And a tough one. That's a tough goal to have. She's really good.
She is amazing. If you don't know her, guys, check her out. She's awesome. She's happy also all the time. She likes the shooting. Of course, she got it from her dad, but yeah.
She got a little advantage there with her dad, to be honest.
Yeah, might be. Yeah. If she's where we eat our BBs, she's eating bullets. Yeah. But well, my challenges. Actually, was not on the IPSC. It was like a World Cup with rifles also, and on the final day when we had to shoot the final, they changed the rules. And we were practicing for like 3 months on the rules we had.
Okay.
So on the last 3 hours before the match, they changed things, and we did it together. It was a duo shooting, and we had to make a new plan. And that was tricky because I always say stick to the plan, and at that moment it was not.
Yeah, out of the window. We have to make a new one.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was a tough one. Competing with the guys can be a tough one, but I try to be very optimistic. And if I would be, how do you say in English? If I would not have fun anymore, if I don't want to reach the top, I won't get to the top. So it needs to be in your head. I think everybody can get to the top, but staying in the top, that might be the hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, challenges. I don't like to see challenges.
You put us.
No, yeah, but it's not.
That's the fun in it. Without challenge, it would be kind of boring, right?
Yeah. Of course, I can tell you some #MeToo stories, but I don't like that on camera.
All right. No worries. We have plenty. There is another one which kind of ties into this. Could you share a specific instance where you had to adapt under pressure? I think this is pretty much one of the toughest ones, or maybe you have a different one.
Yeah. This is definitely one, but maybe an Airsoft IPSC example. It was a stage. It was all about board games. So they had cards, and you got red cards and black cards. You did your walkthrough, and you had black targets, and you got red targets. And you got normal targets. So 3 kinds of targets. And at the start of the stage, so you make ready, you get your commands. There are a lot of commands you get from the range officer. And then you pick a card. And you pick red or black.
And you have to adapt what you shoot on. Oh my god.
And then it's shooter, are you ready? Stand by, beep, and then the color you chose, you have to shoot. Or we also one time had, if you pick red, you had to shoot black. So they were messing with your mind. And that's the part of the focus again.
That's crazy. I mean, I know how hard it is to do a simple stage. I did a couple, matches, nothing too crazy. But this, like picking a color, you see all the targets, you prepare mentally, and then all goes to hell, and now you go. It's oh my god. That's a tough one.
But it's as tough for everyone, so it doesn't matter if you pick the red or the black. It's tough for both.
All right. Are there common misconceptions about Airsoft IPSC that you would like to address?
Ooh, misconceptions.
About the sport overall.
I think it's expensive. I need a lot of gear. No, you can just use the gun you have. You can use the holster you have. Train with what you got. That's perfect to start with. Don't buy all the gear and all the stuff, because if after 2 months you're like, this is not my thing, you spent all the money. So I think the misconception is the people are good, they have the expensive stuff. No, it's not that hard. But also here it depends on each country. I think in the Netherlands, we got introduction trainings. I give some trainings just for fun because I like it. I like to get the people into the sports. But in other countries, it can be harder. And how I started was just watch YouTube. And maybe not Airsoft IPSC, but just look for IPSC because it's almost the same. So, yeah. I think everybody can do it. Not sure that was the question.
No. It's, that's a good one. Actually, kind of answers the other one as well. But maybe we can frame it in do you have a different advice or additional advice for somebody who is maybe now thinking about looking into Airsoft IPSC?
Well, what I just said, indeed.
Yeah, but like the next one, like what is the next most important advice you could give after so many years?
Take it easy. Start with the precision. Start with simple drills. If the guys are running like Speedy Gonzalez, doesn't mean you have to run like Speedy Gonzalez. Try simple steps. Start easy. Start slow. Start with the precision. Really, if that's in your systems, everybody can train speed. I'm sure of that. And otherwise, I will go, come on! No, but precision, and it doesn't matter with what gun, just try it. Just practice it. Do it in your room, do it in your bedroom. I can do it in a square meter, no problem. Just reload out, reload in. Put a box on the ground so your magazine falls in the box. That might be easy, or like on a pillow. And try to get some fun. And if you have questions, you can always ask them to me or maybe to you. Try to ask other people. Look, I'm sure in every country there is a person who's doing it, but you just need to find that person and ask him or her. And I'm sure they're willing to help.
What's the best way to look for clubs or people who do this kind of sport?
Yeah, I think use social media, because I'm not sure in every country how it works.
Yeah, Netherlands is quite specific, right? Because you have an organization for that. But I mean, simple Google search, social media groups.
Yeah, but it does not always work. So maybe on Instagram or YouTube, and especially maybe Instagram, because you can send a message to someone, and maybe that person knows another person in another country. So yeah, but it can be very different, because I know some countries that are people that like to do it, but there is no competition. And I try to support them to start their competition. Just start it. But of course, rules, things like that's hard. But
Country specific quite a lot.
yeah. But I think to get in touch with people, get in touch, and yeah, I'm from Netherlands, you're from Austria, I guess. So that's not near each other, but we're always willing to help, I'm for sure.
And it actually is not that far, to be honest. I mean, Europe, everything is pretty close. Maybe one day we get to compete.
But it's really cool. Look at the Japanese, Taiwanese guys and girls. They are doing what I told about Lina Michalek. The small kids, 5 years old, they are running and speeding. If I would compete there and get the 10th place, I would be so happy. They are insane. They run and they shoot at the same time, and in the same hole. We call it the snake bite, because it's really close to each other. That's all. That's awesome to see on YouTube. But that's like the fast guys. I'm not sure you will learn from seeing fast guys. Maybe we should make some videos and get the people into it.
Maybe even some overlays for this. Let's see.
Let's see. Bring it on.
I wanted to ask one more question.
Yeah, I have a question for you too.
Okay. Then go ahead.
Do I see you next November at the Dutch Open 24 stages? Joseph, do you join?
I don't want to embarrass myself.
It's not about embarrassing, but maybe it's cool to show the other airsofters that also you tried to do it.
I was very tempted last year, but because of my plans for holidays didn't match up with that, I didn't. I just chose family. But if there is a chance next year, I will put it in my calendar, and I should. I know I should. And I would love to, actually. I would love to, because competition, like we discussed at the beginning, it's something completely different. And I like it. I did competitions. We actually set up like simpler ranges here in the office, and we were training and we were doing this, and it's a lot of fun. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'll do my best. that's what I can promise.
I asked Dr. Reinhardt, but yeah, that's a strange guy. So I prefer you, Joseph.
Oh my god, he will be so angry. No, maybe we'll come together. Actually, that
All
would be a
right.
nice trip. That would be a nice trip with Dr. Reinhardt. I'm sure we would be
Dr.
able to
Reinhardt. You
do.
guys can come earlier and we do some training. That's no problem.
Sounds fun. I could use some training. I don't train on a regular basis. I mean, I did, also real steel shooting a lot. So I did
Yeah.
that. Actually, that's my biggest problem because I shoot real steel, but I shoot like defensive style of shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And my issue is that when I enter a match, I will probably get disqualified very, very early because I shoot defensive, right? And that's completely different when it comes to like angles and all that. So that's my biggest fear, to be honest. That's why I never did like a real steel shooting competition. Even I could. I have my license. Okay, I'm lying. At the very beginning, I actually did real steel shooting competitions, but then it started being in conflict with what I did on the side, which is more defensive, like back then Magpul Dynamics. I watched every single thing, and it's not compatible with IPSC. So, but anyway, with a bit of training, maybe with your help, I'm sure I could get that in my head for.
Sure, I smile a lot, but when I'm training someone, I can be hard. So prepare.
I need that. All right. My last question was, what was the funniest thing that ever happened to you during a match or somehow in the match sense?
Funniest. Well, I tried to make fun a lot. It was during a training, to be honest. We have got like these little stickers you put on the target. And I was giving the training to a group of like 12 person. And all of a sudden, the 12th person decided to put stickers on me. And I didn't know. So at the end of the training, they were laughing so hard. And I was like, what's going on? And I looked at my back and it was like completely full of stickers. And that's the fun part again. That's what I like.
So it's also a friendly atmosphere and.
Yeah, absolutely. In Airsoft, but you make it yourself, I think. I also had once I got new shoes and I was like, oh, all right, I put them on for the competition. Why not? And the first stage, I was like, I slipped. And then it's real important to keep your gun in a safe angle. And everybody, you can hear it on the video, they're like, oh! But I stood up and shoot the rest of the match. I managed. I was very, very sure I was falling. So yeah, what's how do you call that movie? Like John Wick or
yeah, when they dodge the bullet.
Exactly. But I changed my shoes afterwards. Of course, I threw them away. There was no good.
Cool. Thank you very much for this exhaustive interview, if that's even an English word. I'm sure the viewers will get a lot of insights, and I hope that people will consider joining because it's fun.
It was
a lot of talking, so sorry about that. I can talk many more hours about it.
That's good. That's what we wanted. To give insights and give real stories and real impressions from somebody who's living Airsoft IPSC, which is safe to say that you are.
I'm breathing it. No. No, yeah, and it's the same if you like. I can talk more about guns. I can grab all the guns, but yeah, I don't have an average gun, so I cannot show you an average gun.
Maybe we should send the SSP-5.
Yeah, you promised me last IWA.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's get back to that then.
No worries, Joseph. If you come here for training, you just bring an extra and then let's see.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a
no
nice
worries.
day.
Well done.
I had a pleasure.
Bye.
Ciao, guys.